Good morning, gorgeous people. Happy Saturday morning. I hope you all have the most amazing week. Welcome back to another vlog. This one is gonna be a little bit of a shorter one simply because I don't know about shorter in time, but shorter as far as days I'm covering, because we're gonna be doing a what I eat in a day. Obviously, across the course of my journey so far, I've posted a lot of what I eat in days during different phases. And now, since we're in our phase of more so focusing on like heavy muscle gain while staying lean, I thought I would give y'all a really good idea of all the things that I'm eating right now. Yes, my calorie intake is higher. I've been eating kind of at my current intake right now since I changed it for about 2 weeks because I am eating slightly more, and it's been really nice so far. And I think I finally got to the point where I'm kind of like lined out what most of my days are gonna look like as far as consistency goes. So that's why I'm doing this video now, so y'all can see kind of what a whole day looks like for me whenever I'm focusing on muscle gain specifically. I know I talked about it on TikTok and YouTube probably already, but my split has changed. So I'm lifting 4 to 5 times a week now with steady state cardio afterwards, usually incline walking, and then I'm doing Pilates 1 to 2 times a week, depending on if I lift 4 or 5 times. And I'm also going on walks after Pilates, and then Sundays are my rest days where I just take everything off. So I hit my step count most of the time, but just by accident, but I'm not being like super intentional about making myself hit my step count on Sundays. I'm kind of just like taking a rest. That's kind of where we're at with workouts. And now I'm gonna kind of get into breakfast. It's Saturday, we're gonna go to the gym, probably hit a full body session. I was gonna book a Pilates class today, but I'm kind of feeling lift. I've been falling in love with lifting again, and it's making me so excited. I know this phase of like transitioning into more muscle gain, more calorie intake, sometimes it can be difficult mentally, right? Because the switch in our brain was the other way for the longest time, like focusing on fat loss, and now I'm pushing it the other way. And really it's because I love how lean I am, but I know I would love it even more if I had about 5 more pounds of muscle mass on my body and was this lean. So that's the process, and that's kind of how you build towards, you know, making improvements and changes. You don't always, as far as science goes, need to stay the leanest, most smallest that you've ever been throughout your whole fitness journey, right? Because if you want to constantly, and you totally can do that, that's some people's preference, but I do know that I really enjoy being strong, and I really enjoy having more muscle, and I lost a good amount of muscle just from long distance training, which is normal. I did maintain a lot of it too, which was the goal, but I do want to build some of that back up. So now we're going through that phase, and I just want you to know that if that's something that you want to do, like go through a phase of muscle gain because you know you're going to be happier with your body composition when you put more muscle on your frame. Not to mention you're going to be healthier, stronger, your bones are going to be stronger, everything is going to be better with more muscle. If you want to go through a phase like that but you're nervous, it's okay. Like, it's okay to be nervous, especially when you get comfortable where you're at in your fitness journey, or say you lose weight and you get confident and you're like, okay, this is the first time, you know, I've been really confident in my body and I don't want to move in the other direction. You're not going to. Whenever you maintain the principles, you're only gonna get happier. Don't be scared of it. I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, but sometimes it's needed. And honestly, like being in this phase right now for me is so freeing and exciting, and I love being able to eat more and fuel. And it's so exciting being able to shift my mindset in another direction and strive for another goal and see the payoff of my strength training and my body getting stronger and my muscles getting bigger. It's just all so fun. So I promise you're gonna love the process. You don't have to do it so fast to where you're freaking out. You can do it in a slow way that you'll be happy with, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Also, let's do a little fit check because I got my new Honor Active on. Please look how freaking cute. These are the soft motion red leggings that were part of their latest launch. They are probably my favorite leggings I've ever put on my body. This is the first time I've tried this one. And then this is one of their little normal tanks with my New Balances. Gorge. I'm in love with these leggings. Highly recommend. So now we're done with that little speech. Let's get into what I'm eating. First thing we're starting off with is supplements. So I'm gonna mix up my Provex raspberry electrolytes into my little jar. I feel like a lot of people feel like they only need electrolytes when they're like running or doing like high intensity training, like in sweating a lot, and that is not true. Your body needs electrolytes regardless of what kind of training you're doing. They're so beneficial for your hydration. And these, I love this Ulti ones. And pro tip, I honestly like putting them with less water because I like them to be a little bit stronger. So I do a whole glass like this filled with ice and then mix them all up. Also guys, some things that I've been changing in my routine. Number one, I've been getting a lot better because I have been just really diving into my education on supplements and being a little bit more diligent about making sure my body isn't super deficient in things, and just being able to like supplement my body in a way that's really gonna complement my training, especially with strength training. So because of that, I have been getting a lot better at taking my supplement. First one I take religiously is HMB. This is for preserving muscle mass. I take 4 of these a day because that's the recommended serving size. And then just for overall health, honestly, everybody needs to be taking fish oil and magnesium, unless you're somebody who just has a diet that's rich in these things, which is probably most likely not there. Some people totally do, but it's very far and few between. So just to make sure that I make up for those gaps in my diet too, take my magnesium glycinate. I've noticed a drastic improvement in how I sleep with this. I sleep way easier throughout the night, like as far as like not getting up, and I'm able to sleep longer. I used to have a really bad problem with like anxious feelings around sleep and sleeping too long, and now I don't have that. Fish oil, the Promix one is so high quality. I'm obsessed with this one. You need to make sure that if you're taking a fish oil, you do get a high quality one. Make sure your pills aren't like sticking together in there. Just to read you some of the key benefits: heart, brain, eye health, aids immunity, joint function, promotes healthy skin. Like, it seriously is magic in a bottle. Hot girls take fish oil. Cheers. Also get questions a lot on if I track my fish oil, because that obviously has calories. I track all my supplements, like if they do have calories in them. Oh, speaking of, my Legion creatine is almost in. It's gonna be here in a couple of days. I placed the order, so it should be here where I can start that next week. I will be taking creatine every day starting next week as well. But anyways, as far as supplements go, I do log them just because I log everything that has calories just so I know where I'm at. If you're not logging fish oil, it's okay though. It's kind of just about consistency, right? So like, just to tell a story, I'm so dead. If my client sees this, she's gonna laugh. But I had a client who 3 months into her journey, she like asked me, she was like, Kelly, am I supposed to be weighing meat raw or cooked? And I was like, you can weigh either one as long as you're logging it the appropriate one, right? So if you're weighing it cooked, you gotta use a cooked log. If you're weighing it raw, but mostly raw, right? Well, she had been weighing it cooked this whole time and logging it raw. She was like, oh my God, so she was actually intaking more calories within her meats than she knew. However, her results were the same because we still read her data, changed her calories depending on what her body was telling us. And so even though she was maybe intaking 50 more calories a day, we were still decreasing the amount that she needed. So it really is just kind of depending on what you're consistent with, right? But I think, you know, having a good idea of all of your calories is just helpful when it comes to accuracy. Let's make breakfast. I think I've decided on baked oats this morning. I was gonna do pancakes, but to be honest, I've been loving the baked oats recipe I've been making lately, and I recorded a lower calorie version of it because I know a lot of y'all want like high protein, low calorie recipes still, and I'm still eating those, but a lot of times the things that I'm doing now are a little bit higher calorie than a lot of you guys would probably want if you're currently in a weight loss journey. So I've been like slightly modifying my recipes, how I make them for me to hit my macros, and posting the ones that are like a little bit more calorie friendly on my TikTok and stuff like that. I'm still gonna be posting those recipes, don't you worry, even though I'm eating a little bit more calorically dense. But let's get into making these baked oats, because honestly, this is the best recipe I've had in a long time for baked oats, and it's so good. But I do like to underbake them a little bit just so that they don't get too cooked. It's way better that way because I've done it both ways, and I promise you, it's so good this way. I've honestly like memorized the recipe at this point. So very first thing we need is some oats. I'm using the old-fashioned Bob's Red Mill rolled oats, whole grain, and we're doing just 1 serving of these. So that is, well, I'm actually just doing 40 grams. 1 serving of this one is 48, but we're gonna do 40 even. Okay, I've also tried 2 flavors. I've tried doing salted caramel by Legion and also banana bread by Legion, but the salted caramel just does it every time. It's always better. So I'm doing a whole scoop of this. You can do like half a scoop of protein if you don't want the whole scoop, but I'm doing 30 grams. Cracking 1 egg straight into here. Not me saying I have the recipe memorized and then like forgetting. I know I need half a teaspoon of baking powder. You need to do the baking powder, I promise you, it is amazing. So if you're just doing 1 serving, I just do about half a teaspoon. Oh, milk, duh. So I'm doing whole milk just because, like I said, I'm doing things a little bit higher calorie than normal. You can totally use the fat-free Fairlife if you wanted, or almond milk if you wanted to cut the calories on a little bit. That's the one I used in the recipe that I posted on, or that I'm gonna edit and post on TikTok. But we're doing 60 milliliters. I have to be so careful because I accidentally always overpour my milk. Oh, banana. Okay, and then last thing we we need is about 2.5 ounces of banana. Y'all, every time I buy bananas, I have these amazing ideas of what I want to do with them, and then I freaking use one and I let them go bad. So I finally froze these so that hopefully they wouldn't go bad. And I've been using the frozen ones in this recipe, so honestly, like, it's so doable. Look, I just literally de-thaw it under hot water for a little bit. Just put the frozen banana in there and it usually works. I haven't had problems with it yet. Honestly, I like my bananas frozen better with smoothies anyways, but I've been doing 2 to 2.5 ounces, honestly, just whatever I break off first. And sometimes I leave the skin on it and it has been tasting good. I just kind of peel this outside layer off, break off a portion. That was only 1.7. Okay, 2.3, that'll work. Hello, y'all almost made me forget my cinnamon. Keep me accountable, y'all are doing nothing over there. Dash of cinnamon. And I think that is it. And then we just NutriBullet this thing until we got a good strong consistency. Also guys, the other day I had extra batter from this recipe and I just seriously ate it. Okay, so now once you blend that, little pro tip, depending on how big your dish is, if you have one that's a little bit bigger and it spreads out more evenly, you're gonna need to cook it for less time. However, I cooked it in this one the first time and it didn't cook all the way through, so it was a little gooey in the middle, and that's what I want. So that's why I'm not using like a big thick dish. I'm just gonna pour this straight into my dish. I gotta spray it first, because it's gonna kill the vibes if it sticks. Okay, so now I just pour all this straight into here. Oh, it's so good, you guys. You gotta scrape out the edges so you have all of the batter, because a lot of it gets stuck to the sides. I promise you the patience is worth it. I'm not somebody who likes waiting a long time, but this really only takes like 15 minutes. So now we have our batter like this. We're gonna put our chocolate chips in. I'm doing about 7 grams. Try to like evenly disperse it across. The bites with the chocolate chips are so good. Okay, and once you have her, we're just gonna put it in the air fryer at 350 for probably like 15 minutes. And now we wait and clean the kitchen, and then I'll show you what the final product looks like. Okay, Pookies, this is what it looks like whenever she's done. As you can see, there's like a little bit of like gooiness. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little gooiness in the center, which is how I like it, like that. I don't like cooking it all the way through. It's way better like this. So now we gotta put our toppings on. Now, depending on what your journey is when it comes down to weight loss, muscle gain, maintenance, whatever, your toppings may be a little bit different than mine, but I'm definitely trying to pack on a little bit more calories like we talked about. You absolutely don't have to do this. You can do different toppings, but I'm gonna do twisted dough and peanut butter so I can get some good protein and some healthy fats in. I'm gonna heat these up a little bit in the microwave just to kind of get them a little bit easier to spread. So I'm just doing 1 serving of each. 1 serving of twisted dough is 30 grams. And this will melt a little bit more on top too once you put it on top of the oats, because the oats are hot. So I'll just get my 30 grams out, and then I'm just gonna put this straight on top. Twisted dough is such a good low calorie alternative if you don't need to do like a huge serving of nut butter. Still include them, they're still great for you. For our peanut butter, I'm gonna do the same thing. Just 1 serving of this, which is 32 grams. And this just goes straight on top too. And I promise you guys, it's so good whenever it melts a little bit. Always gotta leave the excess. And then very last thing I always top it off with, just to kind of get a little bit of extra moisture, is some sugar-free syrup. So I'm gonna do 1 serving of this, which is 30 milliliters. I like to kind of drip this down the sides a little bit. But here's what our final product looks like. You guys, if you make this, it will change your life. Let me show you what the inside looks like. So when I get a bite out of here, like, I like it to be just like a little bit gooey and not completely cooked through, as you can see like over here. So much better that way because it's not dry. I could actually sell this. See, like, we have some goo. We have some like underbaked coming out, and that's what makes it so good. So you have to do that. Super delish, well-rounded with macros, whole food ingredients. So this is gonna be our little pre-workout before we head to the gym and get our lift in. Hi Pookies, we're back. I've literally just been cleaning my house all day. I'm about to go to the gym to get a lift in. We're going out for dinner reservations tonight, and I kind of already like planned out what I want to get on the menu to make sure I hit my macros. So I have that pre-logged in for dinner tonight, so I'm kind of just filling in the gaps. So I went ahead and just pre-logged in what I'm gonna have for lunch once I get back from my workout. And I have like 120 calories I need to fill. So I'm really just eating the rest of this cottage cheese that I had in a tub and then putting some cinnamon and some sugar-free syrup on it. Just cause it's a really easy way to just get a little bit of last protein in and not have to have anything crazy. It's gonna have me really full before the gym. And I'm gonna throw a couple berries on here just so that we can get some macronutrients in. Not too many because low-key, some of these are not looking too cute. So I'm like making sure this isn't mold. Do y'all ever do that? A few berries, some cottage cheese, sugar-free syrup, cinnamon. I'm just gonna eat this on the way to the gym. Really for the purpose, just to fill some extra macros that I had left over since I already have all the rest of my day planned out really. Back and better than ever from the gym. We had a quick full body session and about 30 minutes of cardio, walking, steady state. I'm about to make some lunch. It's 3 o'clock right now and I have some macros to pack in before dinner. We have reservations at 7:30. Here's the thing. I pre-logged in the yogurt bowl because I thought that's what I was gonna want. And now I'm up here craving Caesar salad. I think we're gonna switch some things around. I just gotta figure out how I can do this. Not me having to backtrack and delete a bunch of stuff. I hate when I do this whenever I put something in my fitness pal and have a plan and then I'm like not craving it anymore because then I'm like, now I gotta go back and do all of this work. That's okay though, it's worth it because I'm feeling the Caesar. I posted a video on TikTok of my Caesar salad recipe because it has like 60 grams of protein in it. Everybody was like living for it. The only annoying thing about this lunch is that it freaking takes 20 minutes to cook these dang tenders the way I like them. So that's so annoying, but I worked it out in my fitness pal. So we're gonna start out with 8 ounces of these. I air fry these on 370 for 20 minutes because I like them burnt to a crisp, but that's okay. You know what? Waiting for our food teaches us patience and perseverance because honestly, there's nothing harder. But this honestly is doing better for my protein goal anyways. Okay, also if you do the crispy ones in your Caesar, it's a little bit better. If I'm eating these plain, I like the chunky ones, but if you do the like smaller, more crispy ones, they like are really good in the salad because they more of the vibe for the salad, you know? Oh my gosh, you guys, also me and Kylan started Yellow Jacket and I'm kind of so obsessed. I don't know if anybody, like why did I hear nobody talking about Yellow Jacket until I saw a random TikTok talking about how amazing the show is and how it had them like so hooked. Y'all, I'm trying to grow my butt so bad, but my genetics just aren't there. It's so annoying. Mom, she gave me quad genetics. You should see my mom's quads and calves. They're insane. She's giving pancakes. While that air fries, now we're gonna get everything else ready because then when you do it like this, by the time that you're done, the air fryer's almost done. And everything works out and the time passes quicker. Some romaine lettuce. You can use whatever lettuce for this. I really like shredded lettuce for this too, and I do 3.5 ounces of this just because that's like my preference for volume. I love a big salad. I want my salad the size of like larger than my head. Okay, next we have to make our sauce. So we need a little blender cup again because we're gonna blend this up in the NutriBullet. If you don't have a NutriBullet, you need it. I think I may also do the dressing a little bit differently this time and maybe add like a dash of milk just to see if it like slightly thins it out a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I like it thick, but I think I need it a little bit thinner so it blends better. We're gonna do 1 serving of cottage cheese. Okay, no, I lied. We're doing 80 grams. You can do how much ever you want, obviously. I do the Bolt House Farm Caesar. This stuff is worth the extra calories. It's just way better than the other kind. So we do 30 grams of this. Sometimes I'll be getting heavy-handed with this stuff. Okay, next, before we blend, we're gonna season. Guys, y'all shouldn't trust me on like what seasonings to do and things. I seriously do Badia Complete and Lowry seasoning salt and everything and it always tastes good. That's my philosophy. No, I don't measure this. And no, I usually never switch it up. So I don't even care what the flavor profiles are. I'm just gonna add a tiny little bit of fat-free milk to this. 30 milliliters maybe. Maybe 18. Okay, let's see how this is first because we can always add more. And now I'm gonna blend it. Okay, let me give you my feedback on if adding the milk did anything or not. Yeah, it did. It made it a little bit liquidier. So I know this looks like none, but you have to scrape it off the sides to get it and put it on your salad. We will do that once we have all of our toppings arranged. I've been loving this Belgioso or whatever it is, Parmesan. It's really good and honestly goes pretty far, especially when you're putting it on a salad. I don't even have to use much of this. We're doing 15 grams. And then I just crumble this up over the top. I like to kind of break it up a little bit. And look how big she is. And then the last thing we need before our other stuff is done is croutons. And I get the specific Caesar croutons from HEB. 7 grams. Actually, I lied. I think usually I do 9. And what I do with these is I just break them up so that the crumblies go all over the salad and you get way more crouton crunch for way less. Bang for your buck. I don't like tossing the salad though until I get all my ingredients done. So we'll have to wait for these to cook and then I'll be back. Okay, our chicken is done. Now I'm just cutting it up and adding it on top of my salad. Nothing crazy. Frozen cake is so good. It's like not you hacking up a log on my video. Anybody else's husband?
Chill out, bro.
Spit mucus into the sink. Anyways, we're watching Yellow Jackets together, and we literally just got through episode 1 because he falls asleep every single time, and it pisses me off. And we can never watch a show because he falls asleep every single time. Do you hear me talking crap about you?
So mean. Such a mean and abusive and manipulative lie.
You can't have my birthday cake then.
See, look at you manipulating.
This is what our chicken looks like. Now we gotta pour our dressing on it. I'm gonna be posting whatever you say, so you better pipe down if you don't want it in a video. You have to get all the extra off the cap too. And then I do an extra serving on top too, because duh. Y'all, my birthday cake is so good. We had to freeze it because we couldn't eat it all. A berry chantilly cake from Whole Foods, gonna do it every time. Now we just gotta mix up our salad, get it all well coated, and I promise you the cottage cheese with the dressing makes it so much better. It really does take forever to stir though. That freaking fridge is pissing me off.
Okay,
The icing is so good.
Blueberries.
I don't know what kind of crack they put in this icing, but it's so good. And now we're gonna go blissfully eat dinner. Blissfully eat lunch in our bed and watch our show until we have to go to dinner. So now that I just whipped up my high protein, low calorie Caesar salad that we can sit and enjoy together because I'm starving. And before I get into some life updates and the rest of the video and all of the other things I'm gonna eat today, I wanna tell you a little about something that's been super essential for my business lately. It's called Durable, and I've been getting so many questions on my Instagram stories and on my social media from you guys asking about kind of how I started my business, the tools that I use for my business, what made me wanna become an entrepreneur. And so I know this is gonna be very beneficial for you to hear. So basically, Durable is an AI powered website builder, and it created a full site for me in literally 30 seconds. But 100% what really stood out to me about this tool, especially as a coach, is how easy it was to make my entire site reflect my brand, because that can be very hard to do. But Durable lets you customize everything, the fonts, the colors, the layout, even the voice of your content, which is really helpful whenever you want to make sure you relay who you are through your website as well. And it really makes it feel cohesive and true to your business and true to yourself. So it's not just a website, but it's a brand, and it's styled your way to where it feels so true and authentic to you. Y'all know my passion is coaching. I've said it a million times and I'll say it again. That is where I want to spend my time, especially in my business. I want to devote as much time as I can to doing what I love and to helping my clients as much as possible. I want to connect with people. I want to create impact, and I don't want to sit here and spend meticulous hours of my life choosing fonts and choosing colors and trying to do all this little back-end design work that honestly I'm not that good at anyways. For me, getting stuck hours on end building a website and the techie back-end stuff is just not what I want to do. And thanks to Durable, it doesn't have to be, because they take all of that off my plate. Absolutely everything is built into it. They have blog tools, they have brand design tools, they have SEO, and they even have a free custom domain, which every business owner needs, which is perfect because I can focus on showing up for myself, showing up for my business, and growing it to its fullest potential. So thank you to Durable for making my online presence look polished and match my vibe that I actually give off in real life, because that's so important to me. So listen up if you're someone who wants to start a brand, start a business, or you're in the process of building your brand and you want a site that looks like you, sounds like you, without spending a lot of time or money, because who wants to do that? Durable is 100% the move, okay? Bottom line, it really just helped me stay focused, show up professionally, spend time doing actually what I love, which is coaching and helping women. So if that is you, make sure you go try Durable out for free. I'm gonna have my tracking link linked in the description below of this video so that you can use that. And also don't forget to use code Kelly30. I'm gonna put that on the screen, and that'll give you 30% off of your first 3 months with Durable. You are going to love it. Cheers. We are headed to dinner. The fit, I can't really show you right now because I have a bunch of stuff on me, but time to eat dinner. And of course I'll show y'all when we get there what's on the plate. But we eating tonight, okay? We eating. What are we doing? Eating. Sorry about dinner. I know that wasn't the best display of food choices. However, it was so good. I ate a 6-ounce filet, and it came with like some béarnaise sauce or something like that. I used all the sauce. I ate like all the broccolini in that picture, which it had some like red chili pepper flakes and some oil on it and stuff. It was so delish. And I also factored, you know, the oils and the sauces and stuff into my calorie content too. We had a really good, well-rounded night. I did eat some of my husband's coleslaw. It was such good coleslaw. but I wanted to give you the recap on kind of how everything went, because I know I didn't talk a lot because we were at a dinner and it was just kind of awkward if I was filming, and I was like, I'm not gonna be that one. I'm not gonna be that girl. Even though I am that girl, you know, I wasn't gonna be that day. That kind of rounded off our night with kind of how I make decisions out. I was initially gonna get the salmon, but by the time that I kind of switched my meals around at lunch and ended up having a Caesar salad instead of like the yogurt bowl I had planned it and stuff, the steak just worked out better to hit my macros. And honestly, like, I'm a filet girl anyways. Filet is always gonna be what I wanna get pretty much every single time. I went with my gut and what she was feeling. And so we got the filet and it was delish. And if you're not getting your steak cooked medium, what are you doing? Don't know. Couldn't be me. Anyways, that pretty much rounded out our whole night of how we ate. I didn't have anything after that. I did get some Diet Cokes at the little music festival thing that we went to afterwards. Another thing I'm doing is I'm trying to be a little bit more moderate with my alcohol intake. I think moving to a new city and kind of having all these happy hours and all these things to do and try to make things exciting, like I was drinking a little bit more than I'm used to, because in my cut earlier this year and just, you know, since honestly the end of 2024, low-key, like through the beginning of this year, I did not drink a lot at all. And I was being like very, very particular with the situations that I would drink in, and I just felt a lot better that way. And so I'm getting back to that. So I didn't get a drink or drink anything, and we didn't do desserts or anything, and honestly it was like 12 o'clock or like 11 whenever we got home, so I just went straight to bed. But I closed out my macros for the day anyways, so I didn't really need anything else, and I was feeling full and satisfied. That's pretty much how the whole day looked. It was a success. I hope you like kind of seeing how my habits have shifted and changed, but how the foundations are staying the same, going from like eating in a calorie deficit to my maintenance calories and focusing on being able to like eat enough to fuel for my goals, but also stay lean and, you know, maintain all the fat loss progress that I made too. And just why I make the choices I made. To have like a really healthy, sustainable relationship with food and habits with my diet that fuel for my lifestyle and performance and make me feel really good. That's how things are changing. And like and subscribe if you haven't yet. I love my YouTube community. This seriously is probably my favorite platform to post on, which is crazy to say. Outside of just that, you can follow my Instagram and my TikTok below because I post on there daily, so it's a little bit more engaging as far as content frequency goes. And then the other link that I'm gonna throw down there is the one that's always right below this video, which is the application for my permanent weight loss coaching program. My program is all about helping you build the foundations that you need for your changes, regardless of what your goals are, for body recomposition, for getting leaner, for any performance goals that you have, for overall weight loss, muscle maintenance, muscle gain, whatever that looks like for you, changing your body in a way that you know is going to make you feel more confident, but doing that in a way where we really emphasize sustainable nutrition habits that you feel like you can continue once you graduate the program. That is like my biggest #1 theme and #1 aim, is that we get you into the program, we start building that healthy mindset when it comes to food, and build really consistent habits where you feel full and satisfied and you're loving your routine, to promote consistency, to then get you the results that you want and make them last. So if that's something that you're looking for and you need, you can submit your application below through the link. It's a little Google form. Fill it out. I'll reach out to you whenever I get your application, and then we can talk about next steps and go from there. I hope y'all are having the most amazing week, and I love you as always. I'll see you in the next vlog.